Hi, this is Mrs. Teetsor, quickly going over consecutive integers with you. You'll get more information from your teacher in math. First, what does the word consecutive mean? When you see that word, there are several things that should be going through your mind. Consecutive, meaning one after the other after the other. So don't let that long word confuse you because you already know what it means. You should also already know what integer means. Integer, a whole number. So consecutive integers are basically whole numbers that are one after the other after the other. So to be more specific, let's give the consecutive integer a vocabulary word. The vocabulary term for consecutive integer is integers that differ by 1. So an example would be 1, 2, 3, 4. They're consecutive, one after the other, and they differ by 1. Also with consecutive integers, sometimes you have consecutive even integers, meaning one after the other, but they're even numbers only. And if you have consecutive even integers, you also have consecutive odd integers. So for example, 17, 19, 21. They're consecutive, one after the other, but they're odd numbers. When you're starting problems that have consecutive integers, the first thing you need to know is x is always the very first number. Again, x is always the first number. You got to give it a value. There are two types we'll take a look at. First is just consecutive. In this case, you'll say x plus 1, which will be the second number, x plus 2, which will be the third number, because again, consecutive integers differ by 1. Also, you'll look at consecutive even or odd numbers, integers. Consecutive even and odd would be x plus 2 for the second number, x plus 4 for the third number, and you'll see in examples. The main thing you need to remember again here is that x always represents the very first number. Here's some key steps you want to take a look at. First, you're going to label the variables. Some of you can do this in your head and you just want to hurry up and get the math done. However, you really need to take a look and write it down and label your variables. The second thing is you need to write an algebraic equation. Keep in mind equations have equal signs. You need to then solve the equation and give your answer in a complete sentence. So, let's look at example 1. Find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 75. Keyword is 3 consecutive. Sum is 75. So automatically you should know is 75 because that is or equals 75. So find 3 consecutive integers. Well, we already said x represents the first number. X plus 1 represents the second. And x plus 2 represents the third. And there are your 3 consecutive numbers. From here, you're going to use just the basic solving equation steps. Combine like terms on the same side. So I'm combining those x's. And then I'm going to combine the numbers. And from here, you just have an equation that you can solve. Now I have variables on one side, numbers on the other, and I should be able to solve that with no problem and get 24. So I know that my first consecutive number is 24. However, it's asking for 3. So I will plug the 24 back into the original equations. So x is 24, x plus 1 is 25, x plus 2 is 26. If we add those up, 24 plus 25 plus 26, we do get 75, so we know we have solved the problem right. And the last step is the numbers, excuse the messiness, are 24, 25, and 26. And that's your complete sentence. Let's try another example. Find the sum of 3 consecutive odd integers that is negative 45. So we got the answer already done with that. Or we got the ending of the equation done. Well, in this case, it says the sum of 3, and we know we're adding because that's what sum means. But keep in mind, it says odd integers. Well, we said x is always your first. And then when we want to solve odd, it's x plus 2. And we want the next one, x plus 4, because it's odd, meaning we have to skip a number. Same steps, solving equations, combine like terms, which is your x's, then combining the numbers that are like. And I have a very simple two-step equation that I can solve with no problem. So I get negative 17. Well, that's the first number. The second number, negative 17 plus 2, which is negative 15, and negative 17 plus 4, which is negative 13. If I add those up, which I should be checking my work, I do get negative 45. So the numbers are negative 17, negative 15, and negative 13. And now you have solved consecutive integer problems. We'll have more examples in class. Thank you for watching.